Welcome back to this channel. Today, we are dismantling a pervasive myth that has kept brilliant, faithful people trapped in financial stagnation for years. The myth is that wealth multiplication is purely an act of random favor, luck, or passive waiting. If you're treating your finances, your business, or your career transition like a lottery ticket, praying for an outcome you haven't actively architected, you are operating outside the biblical mechanism of increase. We are digging deep into Proverbs 24 from verse 3 to 4. Look at how this specific translation lays bare the blueprint of wealth. So that every enterprise is built by wise planning, becomes strong through common sense, and profits wonderfully by keeping abreast of the facts. Notice the absolute certainty in the text. It doesn't say some enterprises. It says every enterprises. Whether you're building a real estate portfolio, scaling a manufacturing plant, or launching a digital consultancy, the rule of structural integrity do not change. Now we're going to be breaking down the three pillars. The writer of this proverb uses an architectural metaphor. It breaks wealth creation into three distinct stages of construction. Number one, the foundation, which is wise planning, how the enterprise is built. And number two, the framework, common sense, how the enterprise becomes strong and resists collapse. Then number three, the interior furnishing, keeping abreast of the facts, how the rooms are filled with rare and buildable treasure. This is the actual profit. If your current financial reality feels fragile, or if you're working incredibly hard but seeing no residual treasure in your bank account, it is not a structural failure of God's promises. It's a failure of one of these three specific construction phases. Now it's time for us to shift from managing to multiplying. Most people are taught the entry level of stewardship, which is management. Don't overspend, pay your bills on time, be faithful with what you have. That is honorable, but is incomplete. Faithful management is only level one. The ultimate goal of true stewardship is multiplication. A faithful steward doesn't return the talent exactly as it was given. They return it doubled. Wise planning is the bridge that takes you from a manager trying to survive to a multiplier, creating generational wealth. Now let's talk about pillar one. Wise planning for increase. What is wise planning? Let's define wise planning biblically. In the original text, the word used for wisdom is chokma, which refers to technical skill, structural capability, and tactical execution. It is the exact same word that was used to describe the craftsmen who built the tabernacle. So wise planning is not a vague wish list or a New Year's resolution. It's a blueprint. You see, a wish is when I say I want to buy a piece of commercial property this year. A wise planning means that I'm saying I'm identifying a specific multi-unit asset class, evaluating properties requiring first appreciation, calculating the exact equity position needed to secure it, and setting a firm 90-day execution timeline. Now, let's talk about the strategic capital allocation. See, wealth does not respond to emotion. It responds to order. Wise planning requires a clear framework for how you allocate capital. If you earn $1, where does it go to? To plan for true increase, you must intentionally look at capital through two lenses. The first one is defensive assets, real estate, or stable equities that preserve value and allow you to first appreciate. The second one is offensive assets, reinvesting heavily into your own business, infrastructure, or brand equity to drive exponential cash flow. If your plan doesn't outline exactly how your current active income will eventually buy your future passive freedom, you don't have a plan. You have a current habit. Now, pause this video if you need to, or take out a notebook right now. Write down your primary business or financial goal for the next 12 months. Now, break it down into micro mechanics. If your goal requires $50,000 in capital, what is the exact step-by-step workflow to unlock that equity? Is it through optimizing existing assets? Is it through cutting operational waste? Document the architecture. Now, let's look at the second pillar, the power of common sense. Now, what is common sense? What does it actually mean for wealth? Now, the verse states that an enterprise becomes strong through common sense. Other translations use the word understanding. In the context of wealth multiplication, common sense is the ability to see see the downstream consequence of today's financial decisions. It is the restraint that prevents you from killing your seed before it can sprout. Now, lacking common sense means over-leveraging yourself on bad debt to look successful before your enterprise has the actual cash flow to support it. Now, possessing common sense, on the other hand, means understanding the math of compounding interest, knowing your operational margins, and keeping a lean overhead while you are in the building phase. Now, how do you acquire common sense or sound understanding? Now, common sense is not a genetic trait. It is acquired through discipline. How do you get it? Number one, through ruthless self-audit. Look at your financial history without ego. Where have you leaked the money? Where did a lack of emotional control cause a bad deal? Then number two, mentorship and proximity. You cannot develop high-level common sense while surrounding yourself with people who have low financial habits. You need to be in rooms with people whose normal is where your future wants to be. In manufacturing and corporate environments, we call common sense operational efficiency. It looks at a process and identify where time, energy, capital are being burned unnecessarily. If your enterprise has bottlenecked process or messy, unstructured workflow, it is inherently weak. Common sense stabilizes the structure so that when increase comes, the walls don't buckle. Now, let's look at pillar 3, keeping abreast of the facts. The danger of obsolete mindset. Now we'll reach verse 4, where the Bible says, and profits wonderfully by keeping abreast of the facts. Some translation says, by knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Listen to me closely. Yesterday's knowledge cannot solve tomorrow's problems, and it certainly cannot pay for tomorrow's vision. Many entrepreneurs and professionals fail not because their plan was bad 5 years ago, but because they refuse to acknowledge that the facts on the ground have shifted. Market dynamics have changed. Tax structures keep changing. Technology shifts. If you are relying on an outdated operating system, your profit will evaporate. Now, let's make this highly practical for the modern landscape. Right now, we are living through a massive technological paradigm shift, the integration of artificial intelligence and advanced workflow automation. If you are running an enterprise today and your reaction to AI is, I'll let the younger generation handle that, or that doesn't apply to my industry, you are actively violating Proverbs 24 verse 4. You are failing to keep abreast of the facts. Learning how to leverage AI, integrate automation documents, or optimize workflows isn't just a tech trend. It's a mandatory core competence for modern wealth creation. It allows a lean team of 2 or 3 people to produce the operational output of a legacy 10-person department. It protects your margin and frees up your time to focus on high leverage strategic decisions. Now, to fill your rooms with rare and beautiful treasures, you must treat your mind as a primary appreciating asset. If you have an MBA or a professional designation, that was your entry point, not your finish line. Dedicate an hour a day to aggressively updating your knowledge base regarding your industry, your local market, and global economic trends. Now, let's bring the entire architecture together. Look at how these 3 elements form a continuous flow of exponential growth. Number 1, you execute wise planning to lay a solid strategy and establish order. Number 2, you apply common sense to keep the enterprise structurally sound, manage risk, and optimize your operations. And number 3, you continuously update your knowledge to stay ahead of the curve, adopt cutting-edge tools like automation, and capture new profit centers before they get crowded. If you pull any one of these columns down, the whole house falls down. Wisdom without knowledge means you have a great strategy but an obsolete tool set. Knowledge without common sense means you have cutting-edge tools but zero emotional discipline, leading to a structural collapse. It is time to move from theory to execution. True wealth declassification requires action. I want you to stop watching these videos passively and start implementing. This week, look at your primary project. Identify the technical skill or technological tool you have been avoiding out of intimidation. Commit to mastering it. Look at your financial plan. Does it clearly project an increase, or is just tracking your survival? Turn the blueprint into actual breaks. True stewardship is an active, demanding, and high-level calling. You have been trusted with tools, intellect, and resources. Do not bury them in the debt of comfort or obsolescence. Build your enterprise with wisdom, strengthen it with common sense, and fill it with wealth through relentless and updated knowledge. If this deep dive challenged you and elevated your perspective on wealth and stewardship, hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. Share this video with an executive or entrepreneur who needs to hear it. To drop a comment below letting me know which of these 3 pillars do you need to reinforce this week. Keep building, stay sharp, and I'll see you next Tuesday.